The Rock traps Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Sami Zayn refuses to side with Roman Reigns. A massive congratulations to Carmella. Braun Breaker has a massive advantage in the WWE. Gunther undergoes an immense character change. CM Punk takes a dig at a former AEW World Champion. Rhea Ripley gets a new ally. Randy Orton turns heel. Let's dive right in. Sami Zayn refuses to side with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso are currently standing alone against Solo Sikoa's bloodline after Jey Uso refused to reunite with them when Jimmy reached out for a reconciliation. However, the conclusion of last week's episode of SmackDown made it clear that Reigns and Jimmy are in desperate need of allies. This raises the possibility of Roman and Jimmy approaching other superstars for support. Let's discuss 4 superstars who might refuse to side with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso against the new bloodline following Jey Uso's rejection on Raw. Number 1, Cody Rhodes might refuse to side with Roman Reigns now. Cody Rhodes teamed up with the original Tribal Chief at Bad Blood 2024 to defeat Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. However, if Roman Reigns or Jimmy Uso approach Rhodes for an alliance again, the American Nightmare might refuse. The rationale behind this is that Cody wants to focus on his personal goal of defending his undisputed WWE Championship. In fact, after Bad Blood, there was a segment on SmackDown between Jimmy Uso and Cody, where it was hinted that Rhodes would go his separate way. With an impending showdown against Gunther at Crown Jewel and his ongoing tension with Kevin Owens, Rhodes is highly likely to decline any request to align with the OTC again. Number 2, Randy Orton might refuse to stand against the new bloodline. Randy Orton has a long and tumultuous history with Roman Reigns and the bloodline, making him a strong candidate to refuse any offer to aid the head of the table in this family feud. The Viper is currently involved in a tangled storyline with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. However, with Roman and Jimmy now positioned as babyface characters, they might attempt to recruit the Legend Killer for assistance. Randy Orton is likely to decline, largely due to the lingering vengeance and animosity he holds against Reigns and the bloodline from their previous encounters. This past rivalry makes it difficult for Orton to align himself with them in this battle. Number 3, Sami Zayn could give Roman Reigns a big disappointment. Sami Zayn once shared an alliance with the OG bloodline as the honorary use. However, after enduring mistreatment by Roman Reigns, Zayn was forced to betray the faction and distance himself. Since then, the former Intercontinental Champion has become a singles competitor on Raw. Given their past connection, Roman Reigns or Jimmy Uso might approach Zayn for a reunion. However, the 40-year-old star would likely refuse to align with them in their battle against the bloodline. That being said, there is still a chance that sooner or later, Sami Zayn could play a role in reuniting the OG bloodline. He might even help the OTC reconcile with Jey Uso. But in the initial attempt, a refusal from Zayn seems highly probable. Number 4, Seth Rollins might refuse to aid his former Shield brother. Seth Rollins is currently a key figure on Monday Night Raw, engaged in a feud with Bronson Reed. The history between the Visionary and Roman Reigns is well known to everyone. Rollins went to great lengths to ensure that Reigns lost his title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania this year, which ultimately happened. Despite being a former Shield ally of Roman, Rollins would likely refuse any offer of assistance to the OTC. He could explain that he wants to distance himself from the ongoing Bloodline saga and focus on his own goals on the Red brand. With his current priorities and history with Reigns, Rollins seems unlikely to involve himself in this family feud. A massive congratulations to Carmella. Carmella hasn't been seen on WWE TV in more than a year, but it seems that while she is off on maternity leave, the former women's champion has something to celebrate. Carmella has been part of WWE for a decade now, and made her in-ring debut 10 years ago today. The former NXT star signed with the company back in 2014 and has since climbed through the ranks on NXT and the main roster. She's been able to win multiple championships and is the only 2-time Miss Money in the Bank. USA Network is celebrating Mella's 10-year anniversary. The network took to Instagram to post a congratulatory message which covered her major accomplishments. The 36-year-old has been a fan favorite and one of the most hated stars in the company throughout the course of her career, and it seems that it's far from over as the WWE Universe awaits her return to action after she went on maternity leave last year. Carmella welcomed her first child with fellow WWE star Corey Graves last year, and the couple has since been adapting to life as parents of a newborn. While Graves has returned to the company since Dimitri was born, the former champion has revealed that she has lasting effects from her birth, which include nerve damage to her foot from the epidural. This injury means that the star is spending much more time on the sidelines than she would have wanted, but she is still expected to make her return to the ring in the near future. Alexa Bliss welcomed her daughter around the same time as Mella last year, and now it seems that both women could be destined to return in the new year. With the Women's Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania, 41 set to begin in just under 4 months, it's likely that many names will be making their return. Braun Breaker has a massive advantage in the WWE. As Braun Breaker is preparing to become WWE Intercontinental Champion for a second time, two legends of the wrestling industry have praised him. Next week, he will challenge main event Jey Uso for the belt on Raw. While discussing the 26-year-old stalwart on 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway, WWE Hall of Famers, The Undertaker and Booker T applauded Bron Breakker for what he has achieved in a short span of time on the main roster. Booker especially pointed out how Breakker not using the Steiner name has been a major advantage for him, as a lot of pressure was taken off the young star. The Hall of Famer noted the importance of knowing how to win and lose the right way. He credited the former IC champion for taking some losses. A lot of pressure was taken off of him by not using the Steiner name. I think a lot of people look at that as a negative. I think I might have been one of the only people saying that it was actually something that was pretty cool because it didn't give him any advantages. He was going to have to go in there, and he was going to have to get there on his talent and his talent alone, and he's proven that he's talent, Booker said. The 6-time World Heavyweight Champion further revealed that Breakker took his advice positively, however big or small it was. He is talent, he's a student, and he's going to be a hell of a star, man, Booker remarked. You got to know how to lose and know how to win, and for him, it's not going to hurt him at all. It's not about winning and losing other than how you win and how you lose. The Undertaker believes Bron Breakker will be a superstar in World Wrestling Entertainment for a long time. He noted how young the former IC champion is at this point, and that he has already surpassed the promo abilities of both his dad, Rick Steiner, and his uncle, Scott Steiner. He further claimed that Breakker has immense potential, and that the latter has only scratched the surface thus far. He is a young man. He ain't even scratched the surface of what he's going to do. He is athletic. He cuts better promos than his uncle and his dad already. He's going to be special. He is special. Like I said, he's only scratched the surface of what he's going to do. He's going to be a player for a long time, Taker said. Interestingly, Bron Breakker had laid down a challenge to the Deadman heading into SummerSlam in August, where he won the IC title for the first time in his career from Sami Zayn. Gunther undergoes an immense character change. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther underwent a major character change at a WWE live event. The leader of Imperium will be squaring off against Cody Rhodes for the newly introduced Crown Jewel Championship at the Premium Live event in Saudi Arabia on November 2nd. The Ring General recently defended his World Heavyweight Championship against Chad Gable at a WWE live event in the United Kingdom. During the match, the crowd started to get behind the champion, and he wrestled against Gable as a babyface. The Raw star defeated Damian Priest at SummerSlam earlier this year to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. He successfully defended the title against Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin. Cody Rhodes and the 37-year-old have never wrestled in a singles match against each other ahead of their upcoming bout at WWE Crown Jewel. Legendary wrestling journalist Bill Apter recently suggested that Goldberg could get involved in the Crown Jewel Championship match next month. Speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine show, Apter discussed Goldberg's confrontation with the World Heavyweight Champion at Bad Blood. The veteran suggested that Goldberg could show up during the match at Crown Jewel and hit the champion with a spear. I think it was very exciting. Do I want to see him come back to compete? After the last time I saw him compete? Probably not. But if they can work something out where he gets involved somehow just to give a spear to Gunther somehow when Gunther is wrestling someone else. Think of this. It's going to be Gunther and Cody Rhodes at the Crown Jewel. Suppose Goldberg shows up and this is where that Crown Jewel thing and he spears Gunther to cause him to lose to Cody. CM Punk takes a dig at a former AEW World Champion. At WWE Bad Blood, CM Punk seemingly ended his lengthy rivalry with Drew McIntyre in a violent Hell in a Cell match. He will now be taking some time off. Before Punk walked out of the arena on last week's Raw, the company planted the seeds for his program against Seth Rollins. Amid his hiatus, Punk jokingly took a dig at former AEW World Champion Samoa Joe. Punk may have left AEW on bad terms, but he looks back fondly on the last time he performed for the Tony Khan-led promotion. The Second City Saints' final bout in All Elite Wrestling came at All in 2023 against Samoa Joe. The Samoan submission machine and the WWE veteran locked horns for the AEW World Championship. Samoa Joe and Punk share a storied history. They had numerous classic matches in Ring of Honor before the Second City Saint joined WWE for the first time. On his Instagram story, the former WWE champion reflected on working with Joe by making a joke about his big head. "It's shocking I ever got my arms around a head so big. A Samoa Joe," CM Punk wrote, saluting his on-screen rival and real-life friend. Punk vs. Rollins is a bout that has been years in the making. They were originally slated to square off at WrestleMania 40 before the Best in the World got injured at Royal Rumble 2024. Rhea Ripley gets a new ally. Rhea Ripley may be looking ahead to a new alliance in WWE. Her recent Instagram story teased a partnership with another rising star. Ripley is currently embroiled in a feud with Liv Morgan and the New Judgment Day. While she has an ally in the form of Damian Priest, it apparently was not enough, judging by her most recent match with Liv. At Bad Blood, Ripley won the title match against Morgan after Raquel Rodriguez attacked the former. Despite the win, the title didn't change hands since it was a victory via disqualification. The Eradicator may now be on the hunt to even the odds against the two female stars, which could lead her to ally with Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton. The two even teamed up recently to take on Raquel and Liv in the main event of Monday Night Raw. While Ripley is currently feuding with Liv Morgan, she apparently does not want to continue it too long. In a recent interview with Up Up Down Down, she stated that she wanted to face Bianca Belair down the line. While there were plenty of other opponents to choose from, Bianca is currently on top of the list for the Eradicator. "I've been seeing a lot of people predicting things on X," Rhea said. "I have seen Sky, I have seen Liv Morgan, which I don't really want that to continue, but whatever. And then there's also Bianca Belair, who's someone that I've wanted to face at WrestleMania for a very long time, so I'm going to have to go with Bianca." Randy Orton turns heel. Another one of Cody Rhodes' friends could betray him after Kevin Owens, according to Sam Roberts. The WWE analyst discussed Randy Orton possibly turning heel and going after the coveted championship. The American Nightmare almost got into a brawl with the prizefighter last week on SmackDown, but security prevented the two men from getting physical. The Viper was also involved in the discourse, and it ruined his friendship with KO, as the latter attacked him backstage during the show. Speaking on Not Some Wrestling, Sam Roberts said that Randy Orton could do the same thing to Cody Rhodes that Kevin Owens did at Bad Blood, and he thinks that's what the ongoing storyline is leading to. He's the Viper. He's always the same guy. If the problems that Randy has with Kevin Owens are legit or not, this whole Kevin Owens-Cody Rhodes emotional rivalry is all set decoration for the inevitable turn on Cody that he does not see coming. Randy Orton is going to break Rhodes' heart on a quest to get that WWE Championship, and he's not going to have to say anything. Kevin Owens, at least, is a principled person, said Roberts. The Apex Predator turning on the undisputed WWE Champion has been teased for several months now, as the former has been spotted eyeing the title on multiple occasions. Sam Roberts added that Randy Orton would eventually strike Cody with an RKO during his hunt for the gold. Randy Orton is going to be there with the three most dangerous letters in all of professional wrestling, ready to strike whoever is the WWE Champion, be it Kevin Owens or Cody. It'll probably be Cody, and he will eat an RKO quickly because as much as it looks like, this has all been a build to Kevin Owens just simply creating the runway for the Cody-Randy story. Cody Rhodes is currently set to face Gunther at WWE Crown Jewel. It'll be interesting to see how the Kevin Owens story progresses on SmackDown this week. The Rock traps Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Roman Reigns got a sweet measure of revenge at Bad Blood when he pinned Solo Sikoa in a tag team match. Unfortunately for Reigns, his celebration was short-lived as The Rock returned to send a cryptic message. Last week on SmackDown, the Bloodline used its number game to beat down Reigns and Jimmy. Meanwhile, the final boss's return at Bad Blood wasn't discussed in detail. Either way, Reigns' business with the Brahma Bull is far from over. On that note, let's look at 4 ways The Rock can trap Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Number 1. The Rock could advise Solo Sikoa to expel Roman Reigns from their family. While Jimmy Uso is a strong support system for the original tribal chief, he is still outnumbered in his feud against the Bloodline. In contrast, the heel faction is firmly under the control of Solo Sikoa, supported by the fiercely loyal Tongan brothers and Jacob Fatu. The final boss has yet to choose a side. However, fans are convinced that he is the mastermind behind the Solo Sikoa-led Bloodline. Considering his power and influence on his family, The Rock can advise Sikoa to expel the OTC from the tribe. They could take things deeper by expelling Reigns' wife and kids from the tribe. This would intensify the OTC's identity crisis. Number 2. The final boss might force Nick Aldis to suspend the OTC. The Rock is a member of TKO's board of directors. This dynamic played into his character as the final boss, as he coerced his foes and abused his authority. The Bloodline Rules match was, in storyline, Rocky's brainchild designed to keep the WWE title off Cody Rhodes. Nonetheless, the final boss has great influence backstage, and his authority may supersede that of SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis. Therefore, in an attempt to get under Roman Reigns' skin, The Rock could convince or force Aldis to suspend Reigns. Naturally, WWE would have to find a legitimate storyline reason to do the same, but since the final boss is an influential figure, there could be no need. Number 3. Jimmy Uso could be removed from the equation yet again. Cody Rhodes is preoccupied with Gunther. Fierce rivals of the Bloodline, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Jey Uso want nothing to do with Roman Reigns. Therefore, Jimmy Uso is the OTC's only legitimate ally today. The Rock could take extreme measures to remove the new advantage from Reigns' corner. The final boss could orchestrate a brutal backstage assault on Jimmy. Jacob Fatu and Haku's sons could maul the tag team wrestling veteran and put him on the shelf again. With no allies, Reigns would be an easy target for the Bloodline, and The Rock may not have to wrestle the OTC. Number 4. The Rock could return to help Roman Reigns only to betray him and take the Ula Fala. The previous entries assumed that The Rock wouldn't be participating on SmackDown. However, if the final boss is available on Friday, several intriguing angles could be explored. The Bloodline could again assault Roman Reigns, but The Rock's music could hit, forcing the group to retreat. The final boss has yet to declare his official position on the turmoil within his family, which is why this angle is possible. Unfortunately for Reigns, this could be a ruse. Rocky might immediately betray the OTC, and Solo Sikoa would hand the Ula Fala to the final boss, revealing the mastermind.